So guys, here we go. Yeah, been a little bit quiet on the content front lately. I've been so busy with working, I haven't actually been able to do any filming. Yeah, it's been hectic, but the other day, in sort of preparation to get my two cars, my German registered cars, through a UK MOT so I can get them registered here in the UK. I'm so glad these cars have a good turning circle. It impresses me every time, it never gets old. So yeah, to get them through the UK MOT, I'm not sure, but I think I need an mph or miles per hour speedometer. I know for sure that the speedometer isn't actually tested to make sure if it's working in the MOT, but I think the actual readout has to show that it's in miles per hour, even though it doesn't need to work. I'm not that sure, especially on older cars. I think they might let you off. Of course, the lights are going to be the most important one because the beam pattern's going to be incorrect, and a little sticker over the lens obviously isn't going to be enough for the MOT. It's not a permanent thing, is it? So either way, I actually came across a Volvo 240 instrument cluster the other day. It was actually a friend's. He needed the tachometer out of it, but he said to me, take any of the bits you need, and I saw that it was an MPH gauge faceplate. So I thought, well, I'll just take it out anyway, swap it onto the 240. I couldn't take the whole speedometer unit itself because in this other cluster it's a cable driven gauge. In my 240 it's an electronically operated one, works off a sensor, but I thought, well, I can at least try and take the plate off. Now, I wasn't actually going to make a video about it. I actually decided to take off the tachometer faceplate as well. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera too much. These English country roads are so twisty turny, it's like a racetrack. You take your eye off the ball for a second, you're out. So yeah, anyway, you'll see what I'm going to change over and why, but I wasn't actually going to make a video about it because I was like, well, it'll be way too boring. And then I started breaking stuff, and so I thought, well, I better make a video out of it and better get it online. It's still boring, but now I think maybe a couple of you could take something from it, and maybe it might help you out and save you from making the same mistakes. So yeah, anyway. That's on there, that's really on there. Oh, it's dented it. Fucking damaged it, what a clown. I don't know how to remove this, perhaps it's glued on. Yeah, I've pressed too hard on it. And now it's dented. So you're supposed to lift the needle up and over this stop, and then let it sit where it wants, and it should sit pointing to this very corner point here. So that's where you want to put the needle back on. What now? I think what we need to do, we need to lock it somehow. And there was a write-up that I found online that said there's like a little piece that you can put something in and actually jam the speedometer. Start just sort of taking things apart until we hopefully find something. So inside one of these rectangular parts, you can lock a tool in there, so then this doesn't move, and then you can twist it to break the glue free, and then work it backwards and forwards. Ah, I just broke the needle. Well, that can be glued. I slipped. Yeah, I've made a right mess out of this, but well, I'm making mistakes so you guys don't have to, so at least something good comes out of it. There's a little crack there, which is a shame. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, that's like heavy. Okay, nice. That one just popped off. That's how I expected the speedometer one to go, but as you saw, not so simple. At least this one is, so. Looks a bit crusty in there, but. And this is the one out of Lily. And as you can see straight away, the face on the tachometer just being a matte finish. Doesn't seem like a big deal here, and it isn't, but when you're in the car, depending on the light, sometimes you do see it, or depending on the lighting, sometimes it does really stand out actually. So yeah, I'm going to quickly take it apart. This is interesting actually, how this one doesn't actually have a stop. It's already on the stop. Yeah, a little bit different. So I was hoping that the kilometers would still be in the same position. So if we ever did take it on the continent, at least it would be the same, but it's not, is it? It's not going to be accurate. There you've got the 100 kilometers an hour, for example, is at pretty much sort of 12 o'clock, isn't it? Whereas you can see here, it's further back. So there, it's not going to quite line up, I think. Yeah, 12 o'clock is like 108 or 110, 109. But there it's going to be 99. Yeah, we're going to be about 10 off. Basically, when this is pointing there, that's not how fast the car is actually going. So the car's actually going less than 80 kilometers an hour, but it shows 80. It's more like, it's the true speed of the car is more like 75. They read about 5 under. Because of this positioning, it will show 60 and I'll actually be doing 60. I think anyway. I'm finding this a little bit confusing, but I'm pretty sure that's the case because the miles, the way it lines up, it actually lines up perfectly with these. These kilometers line up perfectly with these miles. So when I'm there, I'm doing about 60, and that's that where that needle is there. Just over, I'd say I'm doing just over 60, 65 or so, and it will be 60, 60 and a bit, 65. Same as when it's here, 70, 70 there. It's actually going to be quite close because this is incorrect, but it reads incorrect slightly anyway. They do that on purpose. They make it read 5 under. So yeah, I think I've got that right. Probably bored you to tears, but yeah, I just wanted to go through the process. And yeah, in the end, we'll actually take it on the road with Google Maps and we'll actually see how does it compare. Maybe just the same procedure as the other one. Yep. Okay, that's off. Yeah, it's going to be weird as well because it's going to read 282,000 miles. So it's definitely going to be a high mileage car. To be honest, it's probably on that anyway. It's done that many miles and the odometer was broken for that long before I got it. But everyone's going to go, oh, it's got nearly 300,000 miles on it. It doesn't sit very correct does it? But it's a miles per hour gauge, and if it is a requirement for the MOT, there it is. Yeah, I think the only difference seems to be we got the 2 red blips there, and there it's fine. So on the older stuff, it was like, yeah, go on, rev it out a little bit further. On the newer stuff, it's like, stop. So I thought I'd just make some progress because I was just talking too much with the camera on, so I thought I'd just crack on. And it took me about 14 minutes to get the screws into there because they're so small and fiddly. Right, there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's not like with the other one, you know, where I had to sort of put it at that position and lift it over and do any of that. It's not like that. It was at its resting position, so I put it on slightly. And then, because it goes against the stop, I can just sort of push it down. And then just push it to the 0, basically. So there we go. Yeah, it's as expected. So I'm reading about 39 there, but I'm actually going, according to Google Maps, which is pretty much bang on, I'm going about 40, 41. It's pretty much exactly it's reading 1 miles per hour under.